On today's show, we're going to explore the biggest YouTube updates, and there's some important ones, including YouTube will now let you use AI to generate video. This is not like some of the other platforms where they're like, it's coming, here's what it'll look like. Also, if you manage a YouTube channel that's eligible for monetization, YouTube sort of dropped an important deadline on us, so we'll make sure you're up to date on that. Are we going to finally be able to add custom thumbnails to YouTube playlists? We'll tell you the latest on that. And a major feature in YouTube Studio has been completely renamed. It doesn't really affect your workflow, but it totally threw me for a loop this week. So we'll want to make sure you're all up to date on that as well. My name is Jerry Potter. Yes, it rhymes with the boy wizard, host of the Social Media Marketing Talk Show, a Social Media Examiner production where we break down all the latest social media news and what it means for marketers like you. Today, I'm joined by Jessica Stansbury. Jessica is the host of the Hey Jessica podcast and the founder of Hey Jessica, a company designed to help businesses grow with YouTube. Her courses include YouTube Rockstars and the YouTube Starter Toolkit. Jessica, welcome to the show.
Hello, thanks for having me.
So I want to get into some of the AI and some of those stories here in just a second, but let's start with this YouTube Shorts thing. YouTube said 3-minute shorts starting October 15th, and now we're still kind of waiting around going, I haven't seen that yet. So what are they saying about this now? Because they kind of clarified, as I understand it.
Yes. So I think now they're saying that at the end of November, this should actually happen. So any of the shorts that you uploaded before the end of November, after that October 15th situation, when we all thought this is amazing, should transition over to the short shelf and not be on the page anymore. I'm just waiting till it actually happens because I can't stand to have a bunch of shorts all over my homepage.
Just aesthetically?
Yeah, no, I can't stand it. And they're always like the worst freeze frames for the thumbnail. And so like I can't stand that either. And I'm like, nope, we're just gonna wait. But it'll be really useful, especially for people who do short form content on multiple platforms, because all of these other platforms have longer availability. So it's gonna be great when it happens.
that was the big thing for some of my clients and members too. They were like, I can put my 61-second reel up as a short now. Thank goodness. So yeah, they say by the end of November at the latest, everything should look right in all the places. So we'll see what happens. But I think they just kind of botched the original announcement with the way that was all going to work. So,
and I feel like YouTube doesn't do that very often. So it was kind of surprising that they would like roll something out that wasn't actually ready. But we'll forgive them this one time.
Yes. Okay. So another feature that they have borrowed from some of the other platforms, but I'm excited to see this here, is now Shorts templates. So for someone who's never seen those on Instagram or TikTok, explain exactly what that is.
Yeah. So if you if you want a certain, or if you see a certain type of content that you like, the cadence of the content or the way it looks or the way it moves or the transitions used or the music used, you can use a template to get that done. So on Reels, we've had this for years now. And so like if there's a reel, let's say for the end of the year where it's like, 12 photos representing each month and they're like popping through and it's a certain song, instead of having to go into like CapCut or something and like, chop this exactly the right length, you can just hit a button and it's like, use this as a template. So now that's coming to YouTube Shorts. And that it's really a great time-saving feature, especially for trends and things like that.
Yeah, because you could literally just say, it'll say, you need a 1.2 second clip here, and you choose it from your camera roll, and it drops it in. And there's something, I think, as humans, where when the music is synced up to the clips, it's just very soothing, right?
It really is.
It's very comforting. So love that. All right, and then another update. YouTube for a long time, I think, has done this better than any platform, where they let you take one of your widescreen videos and essentially remix it so you could take things that were side by side and move them on top of each other and things like that. But now they're allowing us to try and do this automatically where we don't have to do it, right? Is that the way this works?
Yes. So it'll just kind of automatically know. Is that the right word? No, like what should be where kind of thing. Will it? I don't know. But I do think it's a really cool feature. I saw, if you've seen that, what is it? The girls who play in Wicked. So Ariana Grande and I can't remember the other lady's name, but the one who plays Elphaba.
Kristin Chenoweth. The current
on the movie. Yeah. Yes, on the movie. And I cannot think of her name right now. I'm blanking. Anyway, it doesn't matter. But they were just on Jimmy Kimmel and they did this like fun song, and it was edited like we are right now, where like one was on one side of the screen and one on the other. But of course, when they put it on vertical platforms, it was like moving where it needed to be. So I'm
Yeah.
hoping this works well because it would really save a lot of time.
Yeah, without question, especially for that type of like side by side
Hmm.
stacking. I guess the other thing it's supposed to do well, and I haven't tested this, but if you are moving in your shot because you're doing something with motion, I think in the demo
Yeah.
it was skateboarding. I don't know how many of our marketers are making skateboarding videos, but
Maybe.
it'll keep the person in frame. And previously, that took a really long time to
Hmm.
really kind of do that on any editing platform.
Yeah,
So
because you had to track it and things like that. And I stink at that. That is the one of the editing things that I'm terrible at is like
okay.
tracking a moving. So this would be great. That would be great.
Stop telling people that because
I
soon you'll
know.
be great at it,
I
right?
know.
It'll
It'd be
just
like,
happen.
oh, look how awesome I am.
So the big announcement in the last 48 hours is YouTube's Dream Screen is out, and it is AI generated video that you can use in your shorts backgrounds. Now, we were talking pre-show. Meta announced Meta Movie Gen
Hmm.
a few weeks back, and they show where you can upload a photo and then it'll make a video of you doing something, which is amazing. But I don't know
Hmm.
if we're going to see that in the next year or two. This is
Yeah.
available now. So how can you see marketers and businesses using this kind of thing?
Oh yeah, I mean, think about the people who are like, "Oh, I don't want to do this because I don't have an aesthetic background."
Mm,
Or that's on its most basic level, right? Like I don't have this like beautiful background, so let me just create one. Let me tell YouTube what I wanted to do and create one. Or the other option is like, "Oh, I'm talking about skateboarding. I'm talking about Superman." Looking at your shirt. Like I'm talking about whatever. Let me have it pop some things behind me to like help illustrate this point. So I really do see this being good. It does scare me a little bit. All of the AI with creator stuff scares me a little bit because I think at a certain point, there's going to be less need for actual creators in certain areas with the
mm.
AI coming. But this I like. This I like. I think we'll keep it.
I tested it this morning, and I actually used the prompt they suggested, which was like a mountain with a sunrise behind it,
Hmm.
and it's okay. It
Yeah.
seems like it felt like the kind of feature you would expect to be available now. But if it's good content, people will watch stuff with terrible green screen
Oh
cutouts
yeah.
and all kinds of stuff. So I think if it enhances, it's great. So this is supposed to be available now if your app is updated in the US, Canada, Australia, and New Zealand. So a couple more shorts updates as well as a lot of other stuff that if you use YouTube for marketing, you need to know about. But if you've been thinking about how you can transform your marketing career, take your marketing career to the next level, social media marketing world is the place to be. Holly Cartson was one of our attendees and said, social media marketing world has taught me more about social media and marketing than my entire college degree. Honestly, this conference is why I have the position I have now. So if you want to make connections and discover the latest marketing strategies, get your all access ticket today. Jessica's going to be speaking again. I'm excited to be speaking again. Just go to socialmediamarketing.world. Again, socialmediamarketing.world for all the information to get your ticket, give your marketing career a huge boost, and we hope to see you there. All right, a couple more shorts updates. One, a poll sticker
Mhm.
that is coming out for YouTube Shorts, which I'm excited about. I'll tell you why in a second, but how does this work exactly? How do you see this working?
Yeah, like it's the same. Why are we 18 years behind stories is all I have to ask about that. Because like I understand like the whole thing for me is like, okay, YouTube Shorts came as a competitor to Reels and TikToks and things like that. Well, then let's keep up, okay? Because we've had poll stickers forever on Instagram. So yeah, I love the idea of this feature because it increases engagement, it gets people involved in your content, and it literally is just a sticker that you can put over top of your content and ask a question. So if let's say I'm going to do a piece of content that's like, I am outside with my dog in the snow and I can be like, do you like snow or not? Right. And like, yes or no. And you can pick that. I hate the snow, by the way. I'm looking at snow right now and I hate it. But like things like that are really fun because they help like breed that environment with your audience where they feel like they can talk back to you. And I feel like YouTube has less of that than other places anyway. So if we can bring more
Yes.
of that into it, I think that's great.
Yes, that is a great point because it is
Mhm.
not, there's no private messaging on YouTube
Oh.
or anything like that. But I think for channels, if you're managing a channel or you have a channel and you're trying to like warm up engagement
Mhm.
because you don't have that connection, like polls are one of the easiest ways to do it in the community feed. And
Mhm.
now the fact that it's on shorts and you can reach people who don't know who you are yet
Yeah.
is huge. So I'm very excited to start playing with that. If you do live streams, another new feature that is coming out again to shorts, which is I think could be really effective for people that do live streams. In fact, we should probably be doing that for this show. What is this? What is this update called?
It's another thing that Instagram's had forever. But it's basically like a set a reminder sticker. So it's the same thing. It's kind of like a sticker. Well, I think it'll be like a sticker from what I read. Where when you do a short, like let's say you can do a short teasing a live stream that's coming up or
Yeah.
whatever, or even a short that's just on the same topic as a live stream, you can set this up to say like, hey, this is happening at 1 p.m. on whatever. And when they click it, they will actually get like a notification in their notification system to notify them that you're going live. So it'll
Yeah.
help. I think it'll help people who go live. I'm not a big live streamer, but I think it'll help people who go live.
Yeah. Yeah. It's again one of those things. It's like, oh, okay, you have this now. Finally, I'll take
Yeah.
advantage of it for sure.
Yeah.
All right, the scariest update on the show today for channels that have creator monetization. And I think when Jessica and I both saw this, we were like, wait, what? So
Yeah.
fill us in on exactly what they're saying with this.
Yeah. So I guess we have to resubmit our tax forms in AdSense before December 10th to avoid a 24% withholding. That's like not a shabby amount of money. Like that's
No, even if you only get
so
$5 a month, that's a
right.
substantial chunk of
Yes.
it.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I had no idea about this until I saw it in our notes and I was like, what? So
Yeah.
I've got to go check on this myself.
Yeah. So you have until December 10th. All you have to do is log in and resubmit it. I honestly didn't even remember what the email address to log in for AdSense
Mhm.
just because I never ever have to do
Yeah.
it. So, but just a big heads up around that. All right. Sometimes with your content, you want to make sure that it's not showing up next to certain types of ads. And YouTube has
Mhm.
been investing more in the ability to make sure you don't show up next to certain types of ads. So what's the latest on this, Jessica?
Yeah, so creator ad blocking is now available. So essentially, if I say I don't want this certain category of ads showing up on my channel, I can now do that, which I think is magical. I don't know why this wasn't a thing before now. I mean,
Hmm.
I especially think about like the small channel, like parenting channels or something where there's like small children watching or whatever. Like, I don't know why this wasn't a thing before. But also, from a marketing perspective, a big thing back in the day was that like a lot of people wouldn't turn their monetization on YouTube because they knew that their competitors would come in and
Hmm.
run ads on their channel. And so, if you wanted to block that type of thing, as long as it fell in like one of the categories that you can kind of block or whatever, you could do that. And I think that's really cool because then you can be like, hey, I don't want a bunch of my competitors coming in here and acting like they're whatever to try and get my traffic.
Yeah, yeah, that's a really valid point. And with this too, like we're coming off the election season here in the U.S. and so that's something that some people may not want to be up against on any side. Just know they did say your revenue may go down, right? Like
Mhm.
if we don't have as many people competing to show ads on your videos, then you may not make as much. So
Yeah.
if you do rely on that, I think that's just something that is important to be aware of. All right, we talked about the Dream Screen, the generative AI, and now
Mhm.
YouTube is also expanding its Dream Track experiment, which is all about music made with AI. So tell us what is going on with this now as it's expanding.
Yeah, so they are allowing us to like restyle some official songs. So before it was just kind of like we could make a song with a
Mhm.
voice. And now we can say, okay, we want this song. Like if you wanted, the Gilmore Girls soundtrack, that's probably not even on there. But if you did, and you wanted it to like be new words or whatever and use AI to like do that, you can do that now, which is pretty cool. I think it's a cool feature. I don't know that I'll use it, but I think it's fun.
Yeah, well, and I'm still trying to like I know AI can do things I've never even imagined,
Hmm.
but it's crazy because they say it'll maintain the original vocals and lyrics, but change the genre or the mood. And
Yeah.
so I'm just thinking if you had really slow vocals and now you're going to like change the mood. I guess you can do that with intensity, not just speed of music, but
I guess.
yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know how
Yeah.
it'll work either, but we'll see.
All right. New security measures are being tested. You know, the worst nightmare for anyone with a valuable channel is you're going to lose access to it. So I love anytime that they announce new ways to potentially get back into the channel. So what is this test that they're running right now?
So it will give you like a QR code to be able to get back into your channel if you get logged out or whatever, not rather than, but in addition to the other ways that you already have. And I do love this. We were just talking, I'm in a mastermind with a bunch of other YouTubers. We were just talking about how you should have like your login, but then you should have like 6 moderators and like they should all have the login. And that way, if you get hacked, And I do like the idea of, in addition to like 2-factor authentication, we can have this like QR code that is specific and helps us like get back in our channel, and they know it's us and we don't have to like fight too much for that.
Yeah. Do you feel like people who lose their channels are getting them back more now than they were a few years ago?
I do. Like
I do
know,
too. Okay.
Yeah, I have a friend that like recently her channel got hacked while she was on vacation, and within like before she got back, she had it back. So I do think it's like they're obviously trying to protect it a little better. So that's good.
Yeah. Okay. Because yeah, it used to be you'd hear these horror stories, somebody got hacked and then it was just gone.
Yes.
You know, whatever it
Yes.
might be. So I think we all
couldn't
mentally have to be
imagine.
ready for that.
Yeah, I couldn't imagine. Like I'd be like, I think I might cry for like days.
I sometimes think about what I do. You can live in denial. I think, you know, whatever works for each of us.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
It will never, ever happen. Well, this is one of those features that YouTube has added that we kind of went, wow, how is this not here sooner? And this is a feature for playlists on YouTube. So what are we finally getting with playlists on YouTube?
Custom thumbnails. Like, why did we not have this 18 years ago? So yeah, like now with a playlist, instead of, what does it do now? I guess it just uses one of the
It's the
still
first
shot.
video, I think, is usually
Yeah.
what it is. Or maybe if you have watched some of it, it advances. But yeah, you can't make it custom.
Yeah, it's just coming from the videos that are already there. And I couldn't even remember it. Is it even the thumbnail or is it just a still shot from the video? I don't remember. But either way, now we can make thumbnails for those playlists, which is glorious because it's going to look better, number one, on when you're like running your playlist on your homepage. But 2, like when someone finds a playlist in search or something like that, it's just, you can curate what that experience is for them, because the same as a thumbnail attracting a click on just one video, a thumbnail is going to attract a click on a playlist the same way. So I love this feature, but also it should have been done a while ago.
Yeah, well, and also right now, the first video in your playlist may not be a good representation of what the whole playlist is about.
Right.
And so I think this could potentially lead to more clicks, especially for people that are looking to go deep on a certain topic. So that'll be cool to see as we finally have that. All right, this totally threw me for a loop. You log into YouTube Studio, the comments tab is gone. I was like, where are my comments? They've now renamed it Community. And this is part of the idea of creating more community on YouTube, which has been a big emphasis for them. Like you talked about earlier, it hasn't been that much back and forth compared to some of the other platforms. And they're also apparently adding more analytics around this.
Yeah, and they're doing like, you know, most relevant comments and things like that to be able to, I think it almost kind of gamifies the community a little bit of like, you know, like who is commenting the most, those kinds of things. You know, here's the videos that are getting commented on the most, that kind of thing. So you as a creator can kind of gamify it. I would like to see, and I think it's coming because I think I read an article about this, but it's like in the you know, next year sometime. But I would like to see this be a public situation, like the community tab, like we have, being something where it's like a Facebook group or you know, something like that, so that people can interact. So I'm hoping that's coming, and I'm hoping this is one step towards it. We'll see.
I feel like they've hinted at things that could lead to that, but Instagram has also talked about bringing in communities for like 3 years now. So I'm not holding my breath at all on that. Another feature they've been testing, and I think some marketers kind of wish this would go away, but it is being expanded, and that is AI generated video summaries. So, and it's being tested on more English language videos, but basically it's a quick overview about what the video is about. Now, it doesn't replace the creator written descriptions, but what are your thoughts on this? Do you feel like it's helpful to consumers or what?
From a consumer standpoint, I like it. From a creator standpoint, I don't. Because from a consumer standpoint, if I'm Googling, I think I just did this morning. I'm putting together a course on like Facebook ads for retargeting like organic content and things like that. And I couldn't remember how to do something. So I like went on YouTube to search it, and I found a video that told me, and the AI description answered my question. I didn't even have to watch it.
Yeah.
So as a consumer, love it. As a creator, I would hate to know I'm taking my time to do all of this creation to make these videos, and then people aren't actually watching because they can just get it there. But again, going back to what I said a minute ago, I think we're at a precipice, especially with like AI generated video and AI generated transcripts and AI generated, things that at a certain point, how-to creators that are just doing like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 out, right? Like very simple how-to videos, like how to change your tire, how to whatever. I think those type of creators are going to have to change moving forward because all of this AI is just going to replace them. Like nobody's going to need to watch their videos when they can just get a synopsis over here, and potentially YouTube could be like, hey, we can parse information from our own platform using our AI and create our own videos to answer this question. So I don't love it, but I love it all the same time.
This sounds so much like the conversation about AI killing SEO.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Because you don't have to click through to the article anymore because the AI just gave you the answer.
See, I think that'll happen. I do think that'll happen on YouTube. Not for creators that are themselves you can't replace a human element, right? Yeah. But I think about how easy it would be with the tools we have now, much less tools that they can develop, to be like, somebody go to YouTube and be like, how to change my tire or how to saddle a horse. I saw a horse out my window. I don't know. So like these things there's no variation to how they're done. They're done the way they're done. And YouTube could literally parse the internet just like they do for their AI on Google, find the steps and put those steps to pictures with AI video generator and put up their own video and keep their own AdSense.
I've intentionally been trying to make more videos that are visual, and the visual is an important part of it, right? But the part that I worry about is my first worry was they're not going to get an accurate description. Yeah. But I think they are. I think, I've watched ChatGPT summarize things and it's like, wow, you nailed it. You saw some stuff I didn't know was in there.
Yes.
But at the same time, YouTube is leaning now into podcasts. And if you're making a podcast, it's got to fit for people who are not watching the video as well. So it'll be interesting to see, but I do see the consumer benefit for sure. All right. Some cool analytics updates happening. If you log into YouTube Studio, on the right side of the box on desktop, there's this real-time analytics box that tells you what's going on. How many views have you gotten in the last 24 hours? And now they're expanding this here a little bit. So what are you seeing with this, Jessica?
Yeah. So it is like they're testing new data to go in that box. So not only that, but they're also like adding visuals to this so that you can like see more of what is going on. So for instance, like before it's kind of just been like a counter, like, oh, this many views or whatever. And now they're adding, the see more button in the real-time box, so you can see even more real-time analytics. So maybe you can see your click-through rate or something like that. But what I think is the coolest part of this is the visual part, where you're going to be able to see more on like a graph and, step by step type of things, and see more real-time analytics, because we have always had a little bit of real time, but being able to dive deeper into that, I think, is really good for people on YouTube.
Yeah, and on a related note too, I like that they're adding these data stories to videos in the first 24 hours as well to kind of help us understand, because I think videos on YouTube, we all know they have this thing where they can sit there and we feel like they're not going to perform for 3 months and then off they go.
Yeah.
But I think we are getting to that point where YouTube is recommending videos more now when they know who it's for and what it's
Mhm.
about. That first week can be really big as well, even on small channels. So,
Yeah,
um,
and I don't see why they couldn't. And I think this is what this is. So, you know how when you log in, especially I think it's mostly on mobile, when you log in, you can see like it has these little like stories with tips. I forget what they're called, but it's like, oh, see how this thumbnail performed against other thumbnails, and it's like a little story.
yeah, the data
Based,
stories. Yeah,
yes, and
yeah.
so like is that what they're called on that too? That part
I
too? Yeah,
believe so. Yeah, I call
yeah.
it the "tell it to me like I'm five" feature.
Yes,
Like
it's
it's
like,
just like,
"Oh, hi."
yeah, yeah,
This is like friendly person who's like, "Your thumbnail did really well."
yeah.
But like being able to see that at a jump, for your real-time analytics, I think is what's gonna be really cool about that.
All right, let's jump ahead to some important YouTube ads updates, where especially around shorts, we're seeing a few
Mhm.
updates coming out. So run us through these updates for YouTube ads.
Yeah, so now they are releasing like ad or short specific ads or shorts only ads. So this reminds me a lot of like on Facebook, if you're running ads, you can run them just on Reels, or you can run them just on the feed, or you can run them just on Instagram or stories or whatever. And so
Yeah.
now we can have, or advertisers can run their ads only on shorts, which is really good for an advertising perspective, because then they are not having to make they're not having to make like a vertical or a horizontal video that could squish into shorts. They
Yeah.
can make short specific ads, which I think is really important. um, I don't know how that much that matters as like the creator on the platform though.
Yeah, well, definitely from a marketing standpoint, it's a neat asset. And I think the thing I find it interesting is it feels like all of the paid ad platforms, certainly Meta, is moving toward don't tell us where you want your ads. We're going to figure it out for you, right? Because our
Mhm.
platform is so smart, which it is getting smarter and smarter all the time. So it's interesting now as we're headed into 2025 for YouTube to say, yeah, you can run it just on shorts. And
Right.
even if they could take a widescreen ad and reformat it for me with AI, I still just feel like that's two different attention spans, right? I wouldn't want to run
Yeah.
the same campaign on both of them. So that's rolling out. You're going to be able to do stickers on short ads by the end of the year, which could be really, really powerful. And they also, you mentioned reformatting. They're going to
Mhm.
have AI powered video enhancements to automatically adapt content for all of the different formats as well. So lots of new things coming to the paid app platform with ads. I don't run a lot of ads, but whenever I'm at Social Media Marketing World, I'm like, all right, I got to get caught up on the paid ads thing, which I know is going to be happening again coming up this year. All right, couple of other updates. One of them here around between creators and marketers in that relationship with a video linking thing. So tell us what you know about this.
Yeah, so this one, like when I was reading through it, I was like, okay, I think I understand what this means. But essentially, it's a creator initiated video linking. If you have over 4,000 subscribers, so I assume it's mostly for people who are monetized, right?
Yeah.
They can then send a request for advertisers to like link their thing on their short. Am I right on that?
That's my understanding
Okay.
of it as well. We haven't seen this roll out,
Yeah.
but essentially, yeah. So a creator can initiate this connection, and I assume that the advertiser will then say, "Yeah, we want to work with them,"
Mhm.
and then they confirm it, and then they get access to that. So I think in brand partnerships deals, this may just
Mhm.
become a standard thing going
Yeah.
forward.
I
So
think it's similar to like Instagram when you mark something as an ad and it has to go to them to approve it, and they have to come back and be like, "Yes, you can add us as like the person that this is partnered with." I think it can be similar to that.
yeah.
But especially if it directly links to the thing, like the purchasable product, that could be really big for affiliate marketing too. So we'll have to see how it goes, because I'm not sure I had enough details to that's cool.
Well, and in addition to this, YouTube says that they're going to recommend creator initiated tag content to marketers and brands.
Mhm.
So if somebody is, if a creator initiates this and it might be something good to run ads on, then as marketers, you're going to get heads up with that too, which is really, really
Mhm.
cool. And then the other thing is these new partnership ads. They're rolling out to advertisers globally, which is somewhat related, where you will be able to kind of go the other direction. So my interpretation of this is one is from the creator side, the other one is is from the brand side, but they're really making, I mean, influencer marketing is not going anywhere, obviously. I saw a report a couple of weeks ago, and it was just like the number one, what I want to be when I grow up now is an influencer, which I was just like, what? My kids have shown no interest in that whatsoever. So even though
my
I'm
kids
online,
really haven't either. Yeah.
they haven't
I mean,
either?
they want to be, well, my little one for a long time wanted to be a YouTuber, but
Okay.
I don't think it's a serious situation. You know what I mean? Like he never like is to the point where he wants to be a YouTuber. You know what I mean?
Well, and nobody wants to do what their parents want to do. So I think you and I are safe if
Yes.
that's not what they want to do. I think I'd be
Yes.
kind of excited if they wanted to give it a shot. But
I
they're building
know.
this new centralized creator partnerships like management
Mhm.
interface and Google Ads, which again, just to close the gap between marketers and the creators that they want to work with. So
Yeah, I think
quick. Oh, go ahead.
oh, so sorry. I was just gonna say, I think any way that we can help creators and brands work together better
Yeah.
is a good idea. Because right now it's still so new. Even though it's not new, it's still so new
Yeah.
that brands and creators work together, that there's still so much to figure out. And I think anything that's going to help that is always a good idea. And yeah, the creator economy is going zero places. It's going nowhere. It's
Yes.
staying here forever.
Yeah. All right. Quick reminder, you can learn about an all access ticket to join us at Social Media Marketing World today. Just go to socialmediamarketing.world. Again, socialmediamarketing.world. And Jessica, where can we discover more about you?
My Instagram is Jessica Stansberry. My YouTube is Jessica Stansberry. And my website is heyjessica.com.
In all of the places. I love it.
Yep.
All right. If you want to add another podcast to your listening lineup, a couple for you to check out, the AI Explored podcast, as well as the Social Media Marketing podcast. In addition to this one, thank you so much for watching and listening. Until next time, may you be wise with your marketing decisions. Take care, everybody. Bye.